Hello everyone, Jill here. Welcome back to my channel and to a YouTube hop from a cherry on top that focuses on monochromatic. And this is one of my favorite prompts. We've done these before, I know, and there's something very freeing about limiting yourself to one color and seeing what you can do with basically one color. I'm doing kind of a range. The color I've chosen is amber. And I think it's a really beautiful color. I really love like yellows that transition into browns, or browns that are kind of golden brown, and oranges that are more on the amber leaning brownish orange. So you'll see that as we go through. And the only plant, I did make a background, and I used Distress Oxides and water and just smooshed them onto the page. And these are the colors: Rusty Hinge, Wild Honey, Fossilized Amber, Brushed Corduroy. I don't have it here, but I used a little Scattered Straw, which is the lightest of these colors in this range. And something like Distress Oxide is really great if you're working monochromatic, because Tim Holtz has created a line of colors that kind of shade into each other and are like close cousins. So anyway, it was fun to do that basic background, and I knew I wanted to do a lot of stamping. So I took some Tim Holtz stamps. You see the alphabet there, and my favorite library pocket stamp. And then I also used a texture like stamp from Arden Creative Studio, which is in my stack here somewhere. Things are a little bit, I've pulled out so much stuff, so things are a little bit crazy. But anyway, it's around here somewhere, and it's a fun little texture stamp. So let me talk about the supplies that might make their way onto the page and about the design. So this is the Tim Holtz postage stamp sticker book, and he's got this color in his lineup, which is just great for my page. So I'm sure I'm going to have to pull out a postage stamp or two. And I wanted to do a kind of grid design, so I pulled out, you probably have one of these in your stash, a postage stamp punch. And then I pulled out a couple of other shapes, and that would be this butterfly shape. And I have some transparent paper that really kind of captures that color in a deeper hue. And so I think whatever I create on this quadrant, I'm going to staple this on top and have a layer that way, because I thought that kind of looked cool, like a little bit of a shadowed effect. So so there's that. I did a little bit of stamping in advance. This is one of my favorite art journal stamps, just this row of running horses, so old, from a long time ago in my stash. And I might cut this up a bit or use it as is, because as I said, I wanted to move toward this brown, maybe toward the bottom, do a little more of an ombre kind of look. I'm just really experimenting and playing, as you'll see as we get going. I probably won't have like an absolute finished spread when I'm done, but as we know, the monochromatic just kind of really gets the wheels turning on possibilities. I like to go just a little bit off the color, so I thought I could use some washi from my stash, like this brown duck, along with this lighter colored one. They're also different sizes, which will be good. The other washi I've been using a lot of is Tim Holtz's Salvaged collection, and I think these go well. They kind of match that brushed corduroy amberish brown. And then I pulled out this sort of more reddish brown, just because it has girls on it, and I thought I could like do just a little tiny bit of it as part of the grid. Tim Holtz's what are these called? Collage strips, I think maybe they're called, come in different colors, and so this is a color that matches my layout really well. I probably won't use the human image, but I'll cut up the others. In fact, maybe I'll do that right now and think about how I want to use them. If I want to punch out a postage stamp, if I want a larger, I think this bird I might use in its own larger size, kind of wish I had a bigger art journal. Right now I'm using a passport-sized traveler's notebook, and it's been really fun. I'm enjoying making I guess layouts. You probably have seen these in other posts. I did a couple recent ones with the Dina Wakley collection. So at any rate, let's go ahead and see what we can do. I know, kind of want to maybe put some of the bigger pieces in first because I know where I want them to go. And so the thing with layering is you will cover things up. I just love that. I don't really want to cover that up, but I do have the chance to use that stamp elsewhere, and there's a little bit of it right here. That's the Art and Creative stamp. That's so cool. So I'm going to staple this on, and then I'm going to trim the edge, because in part just because I want more room, but also when things bleed off the edge, particularly in art journaling, it's kind of a nice design choice. So I'm gonna make sure I just have one page here. Staple it right in the middle of the butterfly, go up a bit. And then let's turn this over and do a little trimming so we can see how that's going to look and what that's going to give us for the rest of the room. I love butterfly imagery in art journaling for some reason. Okay, so I was cutting this up. This section with the numbers is really cool. Definitely a good match for my monochromatic color scheme. I'll probably move things around as I go along. What I like about this little yellow floral bit is it's going to give us a different size. And I'm mindful and keeping in mind that I'm going to be covering this, so I probably want maybe some of my bolder pieces underneath that. Then there's the bird. I don't want too many large pieces, but I want a few. I didn't mention that I know I'm going to use sequins in the final touch, and maybe look for a few other elements that add like some different texture other than paper. But this collection, see how pretty it is. I love color, so I'm really grooving on this monochromatic. It's Icaria from Catherine Pooler. But if I want to add some browns, good old Seattle. Been using these forever. It's a really good collection when you want browns. Yeah, and then the postage stamps. I know I want a couple shapes that are different, and I thought a rub-on would be a good idea, and maybe this to capture my color scheme. So let's start by putting this. I'm going to take the green out because I don't have any green in my monochromatic lineup, because then I shouldn't say I don't have any. There's a tiny bit of green there. I mean, the other thing that's fun about the monochromatic is bringing in little tiny touches of other colors, just to highlight how much there is of the dominant color. Now I let the background dry, so getting the rub-ons to adhere should be no problem. We'll see. And the background isn't acrylic paint, it's just ink, which is sometimes easier to put things on top of. There, yeah, I don't know if you can see, that just blends in really nicely, but gives us an idea of how we chose a color scheme. I know that I want this little butterfly up in this corner to kind of echo, ouch, sorry, to kind of echo my large butterfly down here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a staple. And I do that because I think that these could be glued down probably, but it's simple enough to staple them and not worry about how they're going to adhere. Yeah, so now decision making. Take this piece and kind of always just kind of come back and see how this looks. I think how I was going to do it. I think it got upside down there. I was going to go like this. And yeah, cool. Another possibility with that paper is to get a little bit more of the yellow. Take a bit here to see how that looks. There, I like that for that side of it. You can see I'm already probably going to do a couple layers. This blends in really well, whereas this offers more of a contrast. So I think I'm going to, I'd also probably would be cheating to use this cool bluish. So I'm just going to go like that and think about that for that corner. Bird down here. Yeah, I'm liking it already. I want to do a little bit more of the rub-ons, and so because it's a small page, I'm going to take the smallest one. There are several on this page that are in the right. This is an older 49 in market that are in the right tone. I'm trying to think. If I've got the rub on here, I might want to put this one more down here. And if we put it like this, we will create some layers and it will be over the some of the part that I left white, and it'll blend into the background. You have to kind of look hard to see what's on the page, which I think is part of the point of monochromatic. It has a lot of potential for subtlety. So you don't have bold contrast. You have things kind of melting into each other and layering over each other, which is fun. It also kind of gives you the chance to sort of study a color, live with it, see how much you like it. I must admit, I think I'm drawn to this color because of my puppy's coloring. She's a corgi, so she's going to be that kind of golden color of fur, and yeah, she's got a really beautiful coat, and it's changing because she's a puppy. But at any rate, that's part of my inspiration. So you see it in other animals, including the cats that are kind of this orangish amber color. Okay, I love the running horses, and I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to putting it down in this corner. For me, it's all really intuitive. I just keep trying things out and seeing what I like, and I've been using this Japanese glue stick, but there are plenty of really good glue sticks out there. Sometimes I go for tape runner, but in art journaling, I usually use collage medium or some sort of wet or dry glue. And I love this Nuvo glue for sequins, so that final layer will probably be done with that. It's kind of fun to see how it's turning out. Let's put another large element. The nice thing about this bird, we do have a little bit of black as I put those in place, and so having some black on that otherwise yellow bird will be cool. Let's see if I want to trim this anymore. Just so it doesn't take up quite so much space. And with this style of art journaling, you can also think about how you want to integrate the pieces you're putting down. If you want to kind of stamp over them along the edges, I might do something like that. I don't know. It's just fun to play and experiment. And this one's also kind of large. Yeah, I don't know how much I want to include, because I know I want some postage stamps, so maybe that's something to add in next. And if we use one of these, maybe if it's under here, it'll show up, but be a little bit, yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. It kind of picks up on this orange. I'm not sure how I want to adhere this. I might just want to put like glue along the top edge and have it otherwise kind of loose in there. I might use a staple. Okay, where's the cover to the glue? The glue cover will turn up. I'm just going to put that over there for now. Here it is. And I did punch some things with my stamp punch. And these are a bit smaller, so I'm kind of holding off until I know what my design is looking like. There's a random red thread from another layout. This is on washi paper, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just put this one down, kind of work along what I already have down. Yeah, that's cool. It's got the deeper amber, which I like. I like having this kind of variety of things in the general color scheme. Here's another of that washi paper, but it's more brown. So I think I'm going to put that like right down here. It kind of goes anyway with the horse colors and a little bit Southwest kind of look with that diamond. I did some stamping. I used a Tim Holtz stamp and used amber and brushed corduroy. A few more. For some reason, I'm only finding this sheet right now because I've got so much piled up here. Here they are. Here's another one. I just used a couple different notepads to get different effects. This is a little bit more of a cream color base. And then there's this lighter one. One of my favorite inks these days is this amber from Catherine Pooler, which is what this is. And then this is Macchiato, also from Catherine Pooler. So I can decide if I want to make this image that I stamped into a postage stamp size, or if I want to use something larger. But given all that I have on the page, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the postage stamp idea. I also did this cool vase image from Tim Holtz's set. This is an older set of stamps. I'm not sure what it's called. But his stamps never go out of style, or out of availability. I think you can always get them, if not from a Cherry on Top, then from Stampers Anonymous. But they have a good selection because they can always get things for you, I think, even if it might take a few days. I say that because I love all these Tim Holtz stamps. I'm not sure. You can use any stamp set, any kind of imagery you like. I think they're especially nice for art journaling. Now, I like that because I like that we've got like different sizes going on. You could do something with greater uniformity, which is also fun, like a true grid where everything's the same size. Yeah, grids are just really cool. But right now I kind of like this puzzle piece where I'm just fitting things in together. And this could go on forever. So I think I'm just going to show you, this is where I'm starting. And I'll think about what I want to add. I think the brown duck might be a little big and a little too much, but this little washi duck will probably find its home on the page. You can always cut your washi tape too, of course. And I've got paper, I've got rub-ons, stamped imagery, some translucent paper, the acetate butterflies. And the one thing that I'll probably add, besides adding sequins, of course, is some washi tape. And maybe a little bit of texture stamping. I pulled out the Tim Holtz stencil stamp collection that has some mixed media elements. There's just a random other Tim Holtz stamp there, but this one is nice for just kind of, and this stamp too, both of these, just adding texture, which is always great in art journaling. So I think I'm going to end there, and you can look for the final page on my Instagram account. And happy work with the Monochromatic. Definitely give this a try if you haven't on any kind of project. And do hop along to the other videos in the series because you'll find all sorts of inspiration, I'm sure. And we're probably all working with different ideas and different colors. So that'll be super fun. And if you leave comments for all of us, you get a chance to win store credit at a Cherry on Top, as usual. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.